The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Use the promo code NFCBEAST for 15% off, active until the Eagles or Giants lose their next game. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to read that out before it stops making me laugh. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I'm coming to you from a very happy Newcastle upon Tyne on the northeast coast of England. Today is Thursday, October 20, and we have a preview of Game 2, which is tonight between the New York Yankees and Houston Astros in the ALCS. And then we'll pick a DFS lineup for a slate that covers 2 days. We've got Game 2 tonight and Game 3 tomorrow between the Padres and the Phillies. And to join me for all the shenanigans is Mr. Noah Bennick. Noah, what's happening?
Doing pretty well, Malcolm. The DFS lineups that we've been giving out, I think every day that we've had a show, trying not to jinx it, but somebody's cashed, whether it's near you.
That's correct.
So doing really well on those shows, and excited for another. We got a 2-game slate in DFS, but really intriguing Yankees-Astros game tonight.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been hungover today, Noah. Well, I'm still hungover. It's fine. Went to football last night. Newcastle won 1-0. I tagged me enough in the photos of one of the Newcastle supporters dressed as a T-Rex stood behind the goal because famously the opposition goalkeeper has little arms. He's got little tiny T-Rex arms. Gotcha. So one of our supporters dressed as a T-Rex and stood behind the goal. And I'll never get bored of that either. So yeah, I had a few beers pre-match, had a few beers post-match, and Newcastle is jumping today with another 1-0 victory. So yeah, I've been a bit rough today, Noah.
Your biggest supporter of Newcastle now, the new biggest fan, Johnny. Did you see that video that he made mocking the Padres fans?
Well, that song's been stuck in my head. With my new, I got my new Fire Stick after MLB blacked me out. So I've been watching, I think I've had the MLB Network on today, and I've seen that twice now. And then Johnny, like you say, mocked it up as well. And it's been stuck in my head for about 3 hours. The last thing you need with a hangover was that fucking thing stuck in your head as well, Noah. I haven't enjoyed it.
Awesome. That's what's in.
It's horrible. It makes your teeth itch. It's one of those that really makes your bum clench. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No.
It makes you, if you watch it, your teeth itch, that's what happens. Okay. It was one of those. But yeah, I think it was, hopefully the fellas who did it were a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It's hard to tell, really, whether they were serious or not. But so yeah, let's have a little recap of the 2 games last night. We had Game 1 between New York and Houston. But first off, we had a wild one, Game 2 between the Phillies and the Padres, which the Padres took down after going 4-0 down. And yeah, it was one of the wildest games so far in the playoffs, Noah.
Yeah, I tweeted out, it was in the second inning, the Phillies go up 4-0. If you search on Google, what is BABIP, the second inning for the Phillies pops up.
Yeah.
And BABIP is batting average on balls in play. Now, if you were to go look at it, and my dumb self didn't, but I would be very interested to see what the batting average of those 4 or 5 balls that made a 4-run rally, what the average or estimated average would be, because they were not very hard hit balls. Castellanos got jammed, broke his bat. Harper, normally you do not expect a little blooper from him. It just seemed like Cleveland Guardians ball from the Phillies. And then you come back in the bottom of the second half, and it was so huge that the 2 of the 3 guys that you get from your MLB trade deadline, and Brandon Drury, he hits a home run down the left field line over that little short wall, and then Josh Bell, towering home run over the right field foul pole. Those 2 guys you got at the MLB trade deadline, that's huge. That got the team and the crowd right back into it. And then it was like the 4th or the 5th inning, Austin Nola against his brother Aaron creates this huge rally, a 5-run rally that ends up knocking his brother Aaron out of the game just 3 batters later. The parents, I don't know if you saw that, but like they weren't celebrating.
They
So
didn't
it's like,
know what to do at all, did they?
No, and even Austin kind of just was. It was a reserved celebration for an RBI single. But if there's anybody like, I didn't even think of this when handicapping it. But if there was anybody that knew Aaron Nola, it was Austin Nola.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I mean, he told reporters that, yeah, like I was going through scouting reports with the guys and letting them know what he does. And yeah, I mean, he says that he often falls down 0-2 to Aaron, but he knows what his go-to outs pitch are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he definitely had the batters of the Padres definitely had an advantage going up against the pitcher when his brother's the catcher and knows exactly what his strategic pitching ability is.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. Nola v Nola was fun. We talked about the Phillies getting all those bloop singles. I think I've mentioned it the last 3 or 4 shows. It's just that everything they've had has been dropping in. And that was an incredible example of it yesterday, like 3 and 4, and then Soto loses one in the sun.
Yeah.
The importance of them getting those 2 solo jacks back almost immediately was important because it just kept them in the game. It kept the crowd in the game.
Yeah.
And then Nola made one mistake, I think, to Juan Soto, which Soto managed to pull right down the right field line.
Yeah, that was all of a sudden front door 2-seamer that leaked right over the middle of the plate. And Soto yanked it down the line.
Because we weren't expecting that from Nola at all. He hadn't given up a run in postseason before then. So yeah, that was fun. And Padres tied it up, so they'll head back to Philly tomorrow. And then the Astros-Yankees game, kind of handicapped it perfectly in that myself and Munaf on the show yesterday both had Astros on the run line as our main pick, which was a plus 125 pick. We'd said the Astros were the best run line team in all of baseball, so we got that. Taiwan wasn't quite good enough, really, and the Yankees were slightly tired, was the handicap, and that proved to come in. I've been chinned a couple of times, 2 nights running, by the overs. I took the over 7 again last night. 2 nights running, I've taken the Yankees game to go over 7. And the first time we got to 6 runs in the 6th inning, and I thought, yeah, we're okay. And then last night, I think we got to 6 runs by the 7.5. So I thought, yeah, 7 and a push all over. And then maybe it was a decent bullpen, some well-rested bullpens were factored in. So I'm not saying it was all bad luck, but yeah, maybe I'll be looking at the total tonight when we look at that game. But did you have Houston last night, Noah?
Yeah, I had my lock was Houston over 3.5 runs. Barely got across there with the 4. And then I had my dog as the Houston run line.
Nice.
Justin Verlander set all-time postseason record for most career strikeouts, combining with the Detroit Tigers and the Astros, and that was just a classic JV performance. Like it's a little rocky in the first, second, maybe even 3rd inning. He gives up a bomb. I mean, he's going to have the most home runs given up by a Hall of Fame pitcher when it's all said and done. And then as the game goes on, he gets better and better, and then he becomes dominant. In it, he had 6 straight at-bats, ended in a strikeout, finished with 11 strikeouts. That was a day that, at this new age and era of baseball, didn't rely on the bullpen. That was a day where Verlander could have thrown 115 pitches. Yeah,
absolutely right. So tonight is game 2, the Yankees at the Houston Astros. Lines here will be coming from our headline sponsor at WinBet. The perfect time to join WinBet is now. Bet $100, get $100 free bet. The WinBet Biggest Winners Club. Whoever hits the biggest parlay on WinBet odds-wise gets $1,000 free bet. Last week's winner at the Biggest Winners Club is a New York bettor. Hit a 15,066 parlay on live money lines, wagering $110 to win $16,743. Noah, was that you?
No,
sorry, I sprung that right on you.
Yeah, I muted myself during the ad. No, that was not me, and I'm not parlaying live odds. I'm just sitting here shaking my head. There's no way I'm gonna win one of those.
Yeah, truly a hashtag DJs only move. Sportsgamblingpodcast.winbet is the place to go for all of that silliness. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you are someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
I want to propose a change to that WinBet promo too. The guy that hit the largest parlay doesn't need the extra bonus. Give it to somebody that lost the final leg of a huge parlay.
The bad beat bonus. So then maybe the winner should get to donate it to someone. You can donate it to us anytime you want. 7:37 Eastern first pitch tonight, and it is Luis Severino against the left-handed Framber Valdez for Houston. Lines are the New York Yankees are plus 120 on the road. The Astros are minus 129, and the total is set at 7. Noah, you can handicap this for us.
All right, I'm just changing my odds that I had written down because I wrote.
New York have tightened up a little bit. I had plus 130 for New York into plus 120.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I had written down, but I'm gonna go through the handicap here because there's only one game. I went a little bit more extensive here, giving the people what they want and a good handicap. Luis Severino starting for the Yankees on the year. He's 7-3 with a 3.18 ERA, a flat 1 WHIP. In his one postseason appearance, Severino pitched 5.2 innings against Cleveland, where he gave up 8 hits, resulting in 3 runs and 6 strikeouts. Severino has faced the Astros twice this year. He went 6 innings in both, throwing 4 and 7 strikeouts with a 3.75 ERA. Luis Severino's bread and butter is specifically his four-seam fastball up in the zone. Now, Malcolm, with his new Fire Stick, has tuned into some of my favorite shows on the MLB Central. I got this stat from Mark DeRosa, who will be the USA team manager in the WBC. Sadly,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sadly, they're going to have to take out your Great Britain team over there in Phoenix, Arizona. But, he said that, the high fastball is Severino's bread and butter, and that's what George Kirby utilized in his 7-inning shutout against the Astros. Now I'm like, okay, I got to make sure that this is correct and pull up some stats. I go to StatCast. Kirby threw 73% fastballs against the Astros in that 7-inning shut piece, 17% sliders. So he threw 90% 2 pitches in that start. And that was an 8-inning long game. So I think that's the game plan going up against this Astros team here for Severino. With fastballs above 95 miles an hour, the Astros as a team are just hitting 168. The one guy that is the outlier, though, is Yordan Alvarez with a 360 batting average against that same pitch, a high fastball. So that's just something to watch with Severino. Framber Valdez is starting on the bump for the Astros, 17-6 this year with a 2.82 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. Valdez also only has one postseason appearance where he threw 5.2 innings against Seattle, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits with 6 punchies. Valdez faced the Yankees once this season, going 6 innings with 3 earned on 2 knocks while throwing 7 chairs. Framber Valdez is typically a ground ball pitcher, but in that start, Giancarlo Stanton stunned him with an early 383-foot opposite field laser. Here's the final handicap from me. I think this game stays low scoring. The top arms in New York's pen got a rest yesterday. All of the B arms like Clark Schmidt, Lou Trevino, Frankie Montas, and Miguel Castro threw in game 1. So expect Jonathan Loaizaga, Wandy Peralta, and Clay Holmes to all be ready today. If there was a starting pitcher that I think is more vulnerable, I think it's Valdez, because the typical Astros bats aren't hitting right now. You have Altuve, who's 0 for his last 19, plus Jordan, Bregman, and Tucker all didn't get a hit last night. Because of that, I had the Yankees at plus 130 earlier, like literally an hour ago, but I'm still going to jump on the plus money at plus 120 on the Yankees money line. I lean the under for the game, but my favorite play specifically is the Yankees first 5 money line, which was plus 110. I will look and see if that has shortened up as well.
Okay. I think with reference to the Yankees bullpen, Wandy Peralta seems to be the only pitcher that they trust out of the pen at the moment. My handicap, Severie. I think both pitchers are vulnerable, Noah. I know you're leaning towards the under here, but I mean, it's possibly I'm talking through my pocket that I've just said 2 nights when I've had my fingers burned by getting to 6 runs quite early when I've been looking for 7 or more. But Severino wasn't great at Cleveland in his only playoff start to date. 8 hits and 3 earned runs in 5 2/3. So he's slightly inconsistent. He's been better since he did come back off the IL. And Framber Valdez was okay v Seattle in the postseason, but 2 of his last regular season games were really quite bad. So I'm going to stick with the total. I wasn't good enough. I didn't like the price of either money line actually. If anything, I would revisit Houston now. They've drifted a little bit in the market, but I didn't like the price of either money line. So I'm going to go in again on the over 7. And then I found a bit of a dog play as well, which angered Munaf when he had to try and fit it onto a tiny graphic, which was both teams to score 3 or more runs here. Like I say, I'm not really all in on either pitcher. I've said repeatedly through the postseason that Yankees can score runs in a hurry. I mean, they've hit 2 bombs last night. Unfortunately, they were both solos. Our man Harrison Bader, and then was Andy Rizzo, I think, got the other one.
It was late in the game. I think it was.
Rizzo. Yeah, might have been. Yeah,
link to the Wild for Harry. By the way,
I did. Yes, I enjoyed that a lot. It was a Daffy Duck or yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was funny. So
1943.
1943, and no, I didn't go and watch that at the cinema. Before you ask, I wasn't around. So both teams to score 3 or more runs at plus 140. So yeah, they go 4-3, 5-3. I'll take 7 in a push. My usual 7 in a push, but with one team wins 4-3, I'll cash that plus 140. So that'll be my 2 picks for that one. We're going to shoot out to DFS lineup in a moment. Firstly, I'm going to tell you about No House Advantage. Dynamic fantasy platform. You can play in pick 'em contests there against other people for a chance at winning over $250,000. Make your picks, select your stake, and climb the leaderboard to win the big money. Any sport you like. SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com is our app offer. SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com. Download the app, get a first deposit match up to $25. Babbel, Ue Le Piscine, etc. Foreign language learning tool. 10 minutes to complete a lesson, loads of fun ways of learning as well. Whatever reason you need to learn or want to learn a new language, there's lots of stuff here for you. Speech recognition technology, different ways to learn, like I say. So you might be better at learning via a podcast, a game, a video, stories, or live classes if you want them. Really, really good tools there. 55% off your subscription if you go to babbel.com/SGP. Babbel.com/SGP for 55% off your subscription of Babbel, which is language for life. So this DFS slate, it's a bit of a weird one because it straddles, excellent use of the word straddles, the 2 days between today and tomorrow. So the Yankees-Houston game tonight, and then the Philly-San Diego game 3, which we haven't handicapped yet. We're going to handicap that in a standalone show a little bit later on this evening. So yeah, it's a funny one because you stick all your eggs in one basket on day one. With it, and you won't see the lineups as well till tomorrow. So interested to see how you've cobbled together your team. So you can lead us off with your pitches, Noah.
Yeah, I really like the structure of this event for today and tomorrow because of the off days. Because I'm not a huge showdown guy. I
must admit, I struggle with a MLB showdown because I don't know. You take one good pitcher, and that's it. And then you the rest of your lineup is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters from both teams. Yep. That's all you've got. So. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. So I'm just starting it off with Luis Severino at 7.5K for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier on in the pod. I think he fares a little bit better than Valdez. Valdez did have a bumpy start against the Yankees during the season. So I'm going with Severino. And then my second starting pitcher is actually the cheapest one on the board at 5.9K. I'm going Ranger Suarez. During the season, June 23rd, he faced off against Joe Musgrove, where Musgrove got rocked for 6 runs by this Philly offense. And Suarez went 7.1 innings and got the win. He only had like 3 strikeouts in that game, but if you're going deep, you're getting outs and you're getting a win. I value that a little bit more. So those are my 2 pitchers, Malcolm.
Okay, well, I've stuck with the system that's worked for me. Like I said, we've done 4 of these shows, I think, now, and I've cashed in 3 of them. And the tactic has been to take the pitchers from the same game. So I'm going to tomorrow's game. I'm taking Joe Musgrove, 8,300, and Ranger Suarez as well. Ranger Suarez has continually surprised people this season. He's had 1 postseason start. He's gone okay. Fantasy points per games aren't nearly what the other 2 are, but I've just handicapped the Yankees in Houston, saying I want runs in that game. So it would be folly to take either of those 2 pitchers. So I'm going to take my same game stack of Joe Musgrove at 8,300 and Ranger Suarez at 5,900. Suarez was very well under the other 2 pitchers in terms of cost as well. Saved $1,600 on the next man up, which is Severino. So you got the 2 cheapest on the board there, Noah, which means you should have a lot of room for some fancy hitters. So who's your catcher?
My catcher is going to be at 5.1K, JT Realmuto. He has a bomb against Musgrove in his career, and he's also hitting 219 this postseason for the Phillies, which ranks 5th in batting average on the team in the postseason. He does have a home run. He has 10 total bases and 2 RBIs. So we're going to take JT. He's right in the middle of that lineup. I like him to do a little bit of damage here.
Tremendous accent there on the say Realmuto again.
Realmuto.
Oh, beautiful. Babbel.com, if you're looking for any Spanish language tutors. Noah Bennick's your man. He comes at a very reasonable price. I'm his agent. Contact me. I've punted catcher every show we've done so far. However, the presence of Ranger Suarez meant I had a few quid to spend. So I have got JT Realmuto in at 5th. Was that any good? No, was that racist? It was possibly racist. We'll get back to you on that. At $5,900. No, hang on, 5,100. Sorry, JT Realmuto. So yeah, I just thought I'd have a little change of scenery from bumming around trying to fit Trevino or someone like that in there. So yeah, give me
Austin
JT.
Nola's been my guy, so switching it up with JT as well.
And JT's just been loads of fun to watch this postseason. His inside the park homer was one of the highlights of the playoffs so far. So yeah, give me JT. Noah, first base.
For first base for me, I'm going with Anthony Rizzo at 4.7K. Rizzo in the postseason has the best batting average for the Yankees, hitting 316 with 2 home runs, had 1 last night, 5 RBIs, 13 total bases. Rizzo seems to be the heart of the offense right now, as Judge is striking out a little bit too much for my liking here in the postseason. And I'll get to the other guys that I think play a role in this Yankees win today later on.
Okay. My first baseman is, I'm going to take not all of these players. I've got the majority from the Yankees and Astros game. And it's going to be Yuli Gurriel, who is incredibly cheap. Yeah. $2,400 leaves you a lot of room to do other stuff with. And he's hitting 359 in his last 10 games. So yeah, he can get on base and then make his way around. Proper bits and bobs player, Yuli Gurriel, and that's what you want to chip away at these fantasy scores. So yeah, give me Gurriel at 2,400, please. Second base.
He was in my lineup. He was in my lineup until I had about 3K left over because I'm playing Suarez. And I'm like, you know what? I can pay for Rizzo, so I'll just add another Yankee bat. Dude, Yuli Gurriel is mostly a contact hitter. Last year, he was the AL batting champ. This year in the postseason, he is hitting the ball hard.
Okay.
So much harder than normal in his career. He's already got 2 home runs. That was not normal last year. So love that Gurriel play, especially for that price tag. Second base, I'm going with a guy that I have been very, very, I guess, not really surprised, but I've loved the production he's given me in DFS in the postseason here. It's Gene Segura. He's been one of my go-tos over there at second base, which is a weaker position in DFS. This postseason, he's hitting 280. He's got the 3rd highest batting average on the Phillies team, 7 for 25 with 3 RBIs and 9 total bases. He has 2 doubles and also a stolen bag. So Segura could do it literally all. Waiting on that home run though, but I've been pleased with the production he's given me. And also going to PVB, he's 5 for 15 against Joe Musgrove, hitting 333. All 5 of them are singles, so he's going to be on base for you. So I like the Segura play at second.
Okay, doke. The chat box is open as per usual. Hard Flex Pro has just come into the chat box and he's just joined to walk into me, rolling my R's and asking if it's racist. Not sure what's going on, but usual silliness here on the MLB Gambling Podcast. Nice of you to join us, everybody. It's always a fun time live here. Second baseman, I've got Gleyber Torres, and I'll be honest, Noah, I'm not thrilled about this. I might change my mind. $4,100. He has been hitting leadoff. He went 0 for 4 last night, so maybe he's due. But yeah, he's got a couple of stolen bases in the last 10 games, but really, it's just a bit of an ignorance of alternatives here. I'm just having a look back down this second base. I couldn't afford Altuve. So possibly Segura was the only my other option, which would have freed up a little bit extra money. So yeah, I might pivot from this, but yeah, Gleyber Torres leading off, and like I said, I'm taking runs here, and he has got a stacked lineup behind him. If he can take a walk or get on base, maybe a stolen bag, and someone can drive him in to score some runs for me.
He does have a home run off of Valdez in his career, so that goes for you.
There you go. We'll take that. Third base, Noah.
Third baseman for me, I don't know how you can't take him. The third base position, he's been the only guy that I've ever given out on this podcast. It's Manny Machado at 5.7K. He has good PVB, actually the best PVB. Not really. He's only had 2 at-bats against Suarez. He's got 1 single. He's hitting 500. So I take that back. But Machado has been the heart and soul of this Padres lineup. He's hitting 306 in the postseason with 3 tanks, 6 RBIs, 23 total bases. Love a Machado play, as he just hit a home run yesterday too. This dude, when the Padres are winning, it's usually because Manny Machado is producing in that lineup.
Yeah, I've made the same play. I had no choice really for 5,700. He looks locked in. He looks like he's really enjoyed himself as well. He's kind of thriving off this playoff atmosphere. He went 3 for 5 last night. He's hitting 325 with 3 homers in his last 10. So yeah, absolutely no reason not to take Manny Machado there. Shortstop, Noah, are you backing him up with the Padres shortstop?
No, I'm not.
No,
okay. I would like to, but he's the most expensive shortstop since when?
Yeah, but that at 3,800.
But
that's do you know what I mean? It's not. Yeah. It's not like it's a big ticket item. That is a very shallow position as it stands.
Yes, not happy with my shortstop play because I gave out Edmundo Sosa on the last pod. Bryson Stott started. Now Sosa is hitting 500 in this postseason. He's 2 for 4. When you give him the opportunity, he is taking advantage of it. And I had to sub him out because he didn't start. He's right now starting only against left-handed pitching. The lefty hitter for the Phillies at shortstop is Bryson Stott. He's only got a 105 postseason batting average, but he's 3K. And I go to the PVB on the slate here, and he's got a 500 batting average. He's 1 for 2 with a double against Joe Musgrove. So looking for him to just pick it up because he has not done well in the postseason, and shortstop's not a very friendly position here on this slate.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. So I did go for the big ticket item, Ha-Seong Kim, at $3,800. He scores all the San Diego Padres runs. If someone hits the ball and you see a runner slide it into home plate, you can get your money down that it's Ha-Seong Kim. I don't know how many times they trot him out there, but he's been going round and round those bases. He's been great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been loads of fun as well.
Do you hear the crowd chanting Ha-Seong Kim?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's been a good fun story. He's, like I said, alternatives. Jeremy Pena doesn't do an awful lot, and then you've got bits and bobs for Bryson Stott, and there's absolutely nothing after that. You don't want to play IKF. I wouldn't have thought in anything. So yeah, happy to play Ha-Seong Kim.
I had Pena in the lineup, but I'm going with the Yankees stack. So originally it was Pena. I had to move him out because I didn't want to take him against one of my pitchers.
Okay, outfielders, Noah, what you got?
All right, so I have money, so I'm spending up in the outfield position. Going with Bryce Harper, who's arguably been the best performer this postseason. He's got a 419 batting average, which is ridiculous. He's 13 for 31 with 2 doubles and 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, 29 total bases, which is, like I already said it, but it is ridiculous. Just to harp on that again. And he is faced Musgrove 14 times. He's got 3 singles against him. So um, I think that, Harper has just been so hot in the postseason. You got to take him.
Yeah, I had money left as well, so I managed to get 2 absolute escalades. And the first of mine is Jordan Alvarez at 5,600. I needed some Astros in the lineup. I'm absolutely fanboyed over Jordan Alvarez in the postseason. He's quickly become probably my favourite player. He's hitting 321 against left-handed pitching. Doesn't have as much power actually against lefties, but yeah, 321 against lefties. And you have since alerted me to his propensity for hitting the high fastball as well, Noah. So
There
yeah,
you go.
that was another tick in the box. Noah coming with a good information. So give me Jordan at 5,600. Next.
He has good PVB too, 333 against Severino in his career with more walks than strikeouts. So he sees the ball well out of his hand. The next escalade in my outfield is the term that you used. I like it. I'm going with Giancarlo Stanton, who's 4 for 8 with 2 singles, a double, and a home run. He's batting 500 against Valdez. That was his stat line that I just read off against Valdez in his career. And Stanton has 2 home runs this postseason. He's got 11 total bases, 6 RBIs. I'm looking for him to also step up in the middle of the order for the Yankees today and score a little bit of runs.
Yeah, I've taken Stanton most shows, basically because he's like a Aaron Judge light, effectively. You get Aaron Judge at 6,200, and Stanton's been as low as 4,900 at times, up to 5,000 now. I actually managed to get the real Aaron Judge in this one. I had enough money left to. I just really wanted to put Alvarez and Judge in the same side. It looks great on the page. Just looking at the lineup now, and you get down, and it says Aaron Judge and Jordan Alvarez, and how can you not feel good about that? Yeah, I picked him because I could, and because he's Aaron Judge. No, leaving us with, if we got right then. Is this a Daffy Duck selection for our last outfielder?
Yes, it is.
It is.
We gotta get
Woo.
wild for Harry in the podcast. Just like we have the trumpets, we gotta get wild for Harry in here.
Yeah, get that in.
You want to play the trumpets one time? Because I mean, this guy has been nuts for us.
Moonaf's not here. We can do what we want. Play the trumpets. Woo.
So yeah, Harrison Bader has played out of his mind in the postseason. He's had 4 home runs in a 6-game stretch. That's the first time he has ever done it in his career, and that's the first time a Yankee has ever done that in the postseason before. Harrison Bader hitting 263 this postseason. Like I said, 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, 17 total bases. Really, he has 5 hits total in the postseason, and 4 of them are home runs. So
Yeah.
just an insane little hot streak that he's on right now, and you have to ride him.
He swatted that one off Atlanta Miles. Dead nonchalant as well last
Almost
night.
got onto the railroad track.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. He looks weird with his haircut. Yeah, I don't think he looks as much fun with his haircut. He's got
I
a
love
bit of
his long hair.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a Buzz Lightyear square head thing going on, but it's not stopping him postseason. So all I've written down here is Beta 2,900 hot.
I've
that
never
is my
heard of that. Buzz
what?
Lightyear square head.
Well, have a look at him. Yeah, he's just got like a
That's
big
awesome.
box-shaped head. Don't tell him if you see him. Don't tell him I'm slagging him off. Yeah, so
Everybody's talking about his
2,900 for
mouth
me.
guard, and you're talking about his box-shaped head.
It might be where the power is in the old square head. So there you go. My lineup is Musgrove, Suarez, Real Muto, Guriel, Torres, Machado, Kim, Alvarez, Beda, and Judge. Noah.
Severino, Suarez, Real Muto, Anthony Rizzo, Segura, Machado, Stott, Harper, Stanton, Bader. Give me the Yankees money line full game. Yankees money line first 5, and I lean under. Malcolm, how about you for the first game?
Over 7, I'm just going to. I've got to keep picking it now until I cash one. Then I can get on with the rest of my life. And both teams to score 3 runs or more, plus 140. I'm going to take a push on that 7, but I'm going to cash that 3 or more. It's going to be 4-3 to somebody. We'll give it to the Yankees actually, so you can win as well. We all cash. They're my picks. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks, Noah. It was always fun. I think we're going to be back in 4 or 5 hours for the Game 3, Philly at or San Diego at Philly preview. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks everyone for joining us in the live chat, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Noah, thanks for all your hard work. Good luck with your bets. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.